in the flow, you just go with it.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
Yeah.
welcome to after show number 13 of The Wrong Warp. Thank you for being in the One Up Club. I am 100,000% forever indebted to you as your art slave, and I pretty much whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Hopefully you just caught this great episode we did with Nicole from Healing with Nicole podcast, which you can find where again, Nicole, did you say?
The podcast is on Apple, Anchor, Spotify, wherever. I go through Anchor, so they do all the distribution for me.
Yeah. So it's out there. You can find it. So I'm gonna
Yes.
tell you something. I have looked this up and read it before, but it has to have been like years ago. I have no idea what this Reiki is. Not a
Mhm.
clue. It's the type of yoga, isn't it?
So Reiki is an energy practice. So energy healing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell me about it from
Yeah.
scratch?
Sure. From scratch. So
Like your Twitter talking about Reiki or whatever. The first time I've even seen the word in 3 or 4 years, I was like, oh
oh
yeah.
wow.
So
Yeah.
it's really
So
interesting.
yeah, it is. So I'll kind of give you a little background. Growing up, um, in my family, my dad was like really heavy into the church and all these things. And my dad had like a really bad physical ailment with his back. And this group of people from church came, my dad's friend, and they're like, we're going to do a prayer circle. And everyone took turns praying and putting their hands on my dad. Um, and I remember so clearly and vividly that I felt this heat in my hands when I was touching my dad on top of his head. And I was like praying and like, I want you to get better. And, when you're a kid, you're able to visualize and do whatever.
Yeah.
And my dad had his eyes closed. And at the end, everyone, his friend was like, did you feel anything? And my dad's like, yeah, I felt this like really intense energy in my body. And um, he was like, what number? They had numbered us off. And my dad was like, oh, I think I was like 3 or 4. And that was me. And my dad's friend had told my dad, yeah, I think your daughter has a gift. She has healing hands. Nothing ever came up from that. Time went on. I did drugs. I battled addiction, all these things. After my grandmother passed away from cancer, I was in this really dark place, and her passing kind of projected me forward and working through a lot of my depression. And I was drinking a lot. I was battling with alcoholism. I was just drinking
You
way
were all
too much.
fucked up in
I
general.
was I was all fucked up, and somehow I don't even remember how, but I found Reiki. I found um, a person who did Reiki on Instagram, and I was like, "Huh, this is interesting." And I participated in a distance Reiki group, and I was like, "What is this? Like, she's gonna heal me from a distance?" Now, mind you, she lives in Mexico City, and I'm like, "How
And
is
you
this
were
gonna
where?
work?" I'm in California, Sacramento. So I'm
Okay.
like, how is she going to heal me if she's in Mexico and I'm in California? And I
Valid
participated. So
question.
yeah, so she's like, what you're going to do is lay down and just be open to receive. And I was like, all right. And she did, it was a group. So it was like a whole like Instagram live thing. And I felt all these sensations in my body, intense sensations in my body. I was like, what? I could feel like my heart, like almost like as if someone was like peeling layers from my heart. That's what it felt like lifting this weight from me. I had tears. I had this, I got hot, I got cold, my hands were pulsating. It was just an amazing experience. So then I decided to get a reading by this numerologist.
Going
She was,
live on Facebook.
she's like, "Oh, you're an 11 life path. You have healing hands." And I'm like, "Hey, that's not the first time I've heard healing hands." When my grandmother was sick, when she battled cancer for 3 years, I would always hold her hand. And that's a thing that I do. Even with like my friends, I'll be like, "Hey, I'll like hold their hand, like, hey, or give them a hug." I don't know. I feel this energy exchange. So COVID happened and all this pandemic stuff. And for me, I'm really thankful because I was able to take my Reiki 1 and my Reiki 2 course. So I'm a level 2 practitioner. So Reiki is a Japanese form of alternative medicine
Mm.
called energy healing. So it started in Japan. And the technique is normally done in person. So you can do a hands on healing where you can put your hands on an individual, certain parts of the body. Um, and by doing so, this universal energy is coming through me. I'm just the vessel for it. And by placing my hands on you, for example, or the individual, it encourages the energy to go through your body and helps with emotional and physical healing. So, because of COVID and everything, I only got to practice on on my mom. My mom is like my lab rat, and so I would actually physically, um, you know, touch her, hold her hands. The knees, the feet is also a point where you hold the foot. And my mom was not a believer. She's never done anything like this in her life, and she was like, "I felt the energy going through my body. I felt like I went somewhere else." Um, practice on my dad. I practiced on my best friend. But really, with this energy, time and space is not real. So my teacher was like, "When are you going to start doing distance Reiki on people?" And I'm like, "I don't know." I was like very in my head, not in my corner, like, "Well, what if I don't know how to do it? I need
Yeah.
instructions." And she's like, "Well, I'll help you." Well, I think it's funny how the universe works because sometimes you have to have your own back and you have to push yourself because my teacher never got back to me. So I reached out to one of my classmates.
Wow.
Yeah, she never reached out to me. And I was like, "That's weird." So I reach out to one of my classmates and I email her. And I'm like, "Do you have your notes for how you do the distance Reiki and the symbols and this?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I'll send you your notes." I didn't get the notes. And I'm like, "Oh, maybe she didn't." Well, she ended up getting sick. I didn't, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that she had gotten sick. So I'm like, shit. And I'm thinking, I'm like, maybe I just need to do this. Maybe I need to get my head out of my ass and just do it. So I just reached out to people on Instagram, people who are following me. I just recently got more into Twitter, but I was more on Instagram. So I just sent DMs to people. Hi, um, this is no cost to you. This isn't some kind of scam. I need practice. And I reached out to people who, have been following me, supporting me on my page. We had built a rapport. But I actually did my first distance Reiki session um, on my grandmother's birthday, February 16th, 2021. I did my first distance Reiki session. And I don't know how to put it into words. I don't know how to explain it to you, but I didn't need all these instructions like I thought I needed. I just centered myself. I grounded myself.
Oh, like it just came naturally, like
Yeah,
a cat chases a mouse.
yeah, exactly. I
Instinct.
literally, yeah,
It's
that's
instinct.
what it felt. And it just, so I'm going to break it down so it makes a little bit more sense. But what I do is I have a table, and what I'll do is I have crystals, and I'll put like your crown chakra, your third eye, your throat, your heart, um, solar, sacral, root. And so I have all these crystals lined up. So I'm like, okay, this is where your head is. This is where your feet would be, right? I get myself centered. I call in my guides, my angels, your angels, your higher self. No negative entities are allowed. I burn my Palo Santo. I have my own little prayer that I do.
Palo Santo.
Palo Santo is so it's this wood. It's kind of
Sage.
so sage is like an herb, but Palo Santo is an actual it's wood, and you
Mm.
light it and it smells really good. And it clears, clears your space, and kind of like sage wood or mugwort or whatever herb you choose. So once I am in that safe space, I get grounded. I'm grounded into the earth. I have to get myself into the right place. And then basically what I do is I envision, for example, if like you were my Reiki um, person that I was my Reiki patient, I would be like, okay, I'm starting at the crown. And what I do is I stand, this is how I do it. I like to stand at the table and envision that you're there and I'm putting my hands over your crown. And then I go through each side of your body. I go, and it's funny because I go really deep with it. Like I envision the energy going into your scalp, your hair follicles, your brain, your
Or your
subconscious.
pores.
Yeah, I'm like breaking it down like blood cells, white blood cells, muscles, fibers, tissues, veins.
Down to the molecule.
I'm down to and I'm literally like a clavicle, like I'm ribs, heart, your ventricles, your aorta. Like I'm sending all this energy to each side, and then obviously I can't touch you, but I will envision your hand, and I'll hold your hand. And I've had people tell me, I felt you hold my hand.
Oh shit.
I felt your hand, my hand in your hands, and I felt that. And it's like, to me, when I'm doing that, I might go, for example, over your stomach, and I might feel that there's a concentration of energy there, but then I will have a physical response. So I practiced Reiki on someone and I burped, and I was like, oh, why did I burp? I didn't even drink like soda or anything like that. And then immediately I get this thought of acid reflux. So while I'm doing the session, I'll have downloads or sensations in my body. So I take note of those. And it's funny because I had mentioned to her, yeah, are you having issues with your stomach or acid reflux? And she's like, yes, I've been having issues for about 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, well, that came up. But sometimes I'll sense emotion. Um, there's been sessions where I've worked with people and I'll have tears that just come out of nowhere, and I feel the person's sadness. And then when I talk to them, so after I'm done with the whole session, I'll do the whole front of the body, and then in my mind I envision you like being on your stomach, and then I go behind the knees, behind all the vertebrae. I go through everything. I'll clear chakras, I'll go over each crystal, and then whatever feedback I get, I can kind of tell like, okay, this chakra is not balanced, I need to balance this one out. Or maybe you're not feeling safe, so we need to talk about doing some things that can help you work on your root chakra. And then the way that I do it is I like to have a Zoom call and we just chat. And how did you feel? If you're comfortable, I always tell people, if you're comfortable, I know it's a lot to take in sometimes, but if you're comfortable, and then I share what came up for me. And, sometimes I'll tell people, I saw for this woman, I saw a dog in my I'm like, I don't know this dog. I saw a dog and I felt this sadness, and I told her, and she goes, yeah, my dog actually died, and I've been holding on to that grief. And I was like, well, maybe it's time to process that grief. And so I kind of give people the tools to how to work through things, whether it's a meditation that I send you, a book. I have a lot of resources, so I try to um, give as much as I can, because to me, it's an amazing experience on my end, and it's an amazing experience on their end. I mean, I've actually traveled with people. Like I have literally felt like I'm somewhere else, but I'm just like holding the space, if that makes sense. Like I literally had one of my clients tell me, yeah, I was in the ocean and I was like in the water, but I felt safe. And so I think that I am creating this safe space energetically to allow healing to take place. And ultimately, I don't think that I'm healing you. I'm holding the space for you. And if you're open to accepting the energy and doing the work, then you're able to heal. That's that. I don't think that. I think a lot of people think that, oh, I have a Reiki session, I'm healed, I'm fixed.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's
like they think that things work that way.
correct. And it's like, no, I need you to do this and this. But it does help too with like immune system. Um, it helps with my mom. She got hurt. She slipped and she hurt her hip. She didn't break it, thank goodness. But I worked with her. I mean, every weekend I was practicing Reiki, and but also talking to her like, hey, this came up as well because I think that there's a lot of emotional connection to some of our physical ailments that we have.
Interesting.
Um, they say when you have a lot of tension in your shoulders, and this is just from me reading books. I'm constantly reading. I have anatomy, physiology books because I like to get really deep and see where I'm feeling things. But some people who have a lot of pain in their back is because they don't feel emotionally supported. They might not fully believe in themselves. So there are a lot of ties to the physical. People who have leg pain or issues with their legs. It could be holding on to a lot of old grief. It
That's
kind
really
of
interesting.
stores. Yeah, it's very interesting.
So Morgan in the chat says, is there any way that you can test Reiki right now on Will? Brandon in the chat says, interesting. Grief has been a common topic today for myself.
So I have actually recently done Reiki on a whim, which I wasn't comfortable doing it, but it was someone who really needed it, and I kind of just did it. But I think the best way to experience it is to be in a like if you wanted to do it, I definitely would love to for you to try it if you're open to it and if you would like to. I would love to set something up where we could for you to try it, but be in the space because I think when you do it rushed, it's, oh, let me show you what I can do. Like it's a magic trick when really I think
Yeah.
it's a more um, intimate experience, not just between, you allowing me and giving me the permission to tap into your energy, but also you being open not only to the energy but to your higher self. Sometimes I tell people, hey, if there's something that's bothering you, think, ask for clarification. Sometimes you get the answers will come. And I think if going to what was said in the chat about grief, I think that a lot of people are realizing that they have a lot of unresolved grief and that they have a lot of suppressed emotion and they haven't allowed themselves to grieve. I myself recorded a podcast episode about my grandma having cancer,
Oh
and
yeah, you did just do that, didn't you?
yeah, and
Wow. Go check her out, Brandon. Healing with Nicole podcast.
yeah, that episode. So my grandmother passed away in 2018. There was she battled cancer for 3 years. I suppressed my emotions for 3 years, and I drank alcohol for 3 years, and I didn't process. I was so focused on taking care of her and all these other things that it's been a work in progress, and grief is a work in progress. There's stages to grief. It doesn't just go away. But recording that podcast episode, I cry in that episode, and I even say I didn't realize I had this unresolved grief that was still living inside of me.
Wow.
And
So
um
that's a good ass episode.
yeah, because I was like, wow. And there was a lot of anger that came out too. And it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, this shit needed to come
That's
out. And
like that's what I want to hear is people realize things live. That's
yeah,
what the fuck I want to hear.
yeah. I literally was there, like sit recording, and I was like, whoa, I didn't realize that. And I think that a lot of people, because of the way that society is and how we are and how, they realize, hey, this has been living inside of me. This has been festering in my body. Grief
Yeah,
is a
like
huge
you got to
thing.
deal with it. A lot of people think that grief, that you can go around grief. Like you're walking down the road, walking down the street, and then a gigantic monster Bigfoot thing pops up. It wants to kill you. That's the
No,
grief, and we think that we can go around it, or better yet, we think we can dive between his legs and scurry about, or we think we can do anything to get out of it,
yeah, drown
anything
it in
to
alcohol or
yeah, anything. I mean, literally anything else possible other than process and deal with the grief. And it's the same cheesy, corny bullshit that's been said a million times, but it's so true. It is the truth. You know,
it is.
you you must deal with it.
Everyone grieves differently too. There's no cookie cutter way. I mean, some people grieve by, breaking stuff. We have these in Sacramento now where they have these like rooms where you can go and you pay money and
Oh
you can
yeah, I've seen. What are they called? It's
like,
smash
yeah,
house something.
demolition rooms or something. Some people get their grieve that way. They're crying and they're breaking stuff, or
Yeah,
some people want to paint, other people want to cry, or I used to write stuff down, like what that would bother me, and then I'd burn it and I would just be like, all right, it's done. But there has
I
to be
think
some release.
it would be really good to even record like a solo podcast episode, even if you're not doing, even if you don't have a podcast, even if you have no interest in that, even if you never release it, you know what I mean? Just like on your voice
Yes.
notes on your phone, just talk for like, I mean, however long you want. You do for an hour, you can do for hours, but just talk for like 15 minutes. Like, say your name was Steve, you'd be like, well, my name is Steve
Yeah.
and this is my life story. And just describe yourself. And then when you listen back to it, you're going to pick up on some things and go, oh shit. I think it's really a matter of looking at something from a different angle. A lot of times when probably most times, to be honest, when we
Hmm.
realize answers or have like these big epiphanies, it was always right in front of your face. I mean, there's got to be something to that, right? I mean, you're always just looking in the wrong direction, and the answer just turn your head a little bit. But a lot of times, I think that with grief specifically, we put it off. We know we got to
Yeah.
deal with it. We know
It's
it sucks.
easier.
Yeah, but we'll deal with it later, right?
Yeah.
But
And
later
that
never
thing that you
comes.
said about recording, yeah, it never comes because you're constantly avoiding it. But recording, it's funny because sometimes when I'm driving and if I'm in traffic, because now there's traffic is back, but I'll put in my headphones and I'll just put my voice memo and I'll just start talking. But it's not for the podcast, it's for myself. Like,
Yeah. Dude, that's so
hey,
interesting that you even say that because I use my notebook, my notepad on my phone all day. I'm just like opening the notepad and just putting a word or a sentence or a phrase because I'll remember what it means. And it's
mhm,
like stuff to talk about on the show and stuff like that. But this is so funny. This has happened to me like 4 times now, probably. I use the voice to text thing on the phone for the
mhm.
voice notes because I'm driving the car on the highway on the way home on the interstate. And like 4 times now this has happened. I'm recording a voice note. Maybe I'm pausing a podcast to do it. Maybe I'm not. But I'll be in the middle, blah, 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 recording it. And then someone in traffic will do something shitty. So it'll be like, look into Antarctica. And then you stupid fuck, what are you doing? And he'll literally
Yeah.
say, I'll go back to look at my notes for the day, and it will be look for Antarctica and you stupid fuck, what are you doing? So funny.
Yeah. That's funny because the recording that I did recently, I had this download of it was like, just I should just be myself. The right people are going to come to me. And this idiot like cut the car off in front of me. So she slammed on the brakes. And then you hear in the recording, this fucking asshole just fucked my shit up.
So yeah, it's kind of the same thing, pretty much. It's just a version of Notes that gets fucked up
Yeah.
by traffic.
Yeah, I do that too though. Sometimes I'm like, hey, look Google, or not Google, but I'll be like, look into blah blah blah. And then later I go back and I'm like, I do that with my dreams too. So I don't sleep with my phone in the room. So sometimes I'll wake up and I'm like, oh shit, what did I dream? And I'll like type out or voice note my dreams.
Mm.
Crazy. I totally recommend doing that. Anyone who does
Oh
that, if
yeah,
they
a
wake
dream
up,
journal.
yeah.
If a lot of people think that the only reason for a dream journal will be to lucid dream, which if you want to lucid dream, if you haven't yet, dream journal is like the third most important thing. But even if you're not trying to lucid dream or astral project or any type of OBE or anything, dream journal can be really fucking helpful. It can be really revealing to you about yourself. But the real qualm, the real conundrum is that anybody smart enough to recognize that has already realized the thing about themselves. Does that make sense? Kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't know. A lot of people just think that they don't need, a lot of people stop learning. And I think that it's important to make a distinction between learning and indoctrination. To me, my version of learning is stuff that you figure out,
Hmm.
not, anything else other than stuff that you figured out on your own. And you're like, yeah, this is true.
You
Because I,
experienced it. You went ahead and yeah. And I don't know if this applies to you, but I had like moments where I was like really depressed and I would just go home and just watch Netflix. I spent
mm,
hours just on Netflix like watching shows. And then I did all this work and I got through it, and now I'm constantly reading, I'm constantly watching videos, listening to podcasts. I'm like, my brain is just like wanting to
yeah,
expand and do, and oh, let me try, I want to see this for myself,
yeah.
or I want to try this. And then it's like I was like in this dark tunnel, and I feel like a lot of people are there. It's just easy to just, oh, let me just watch this show and
Well, it's
have
just
the
like
subliminal messages come through.
what I tweeted the other day about why books are important, because I started to think about that myself. I like someone said something about it, and I thought in my head, what is the difference between books and movies? I was like, how is that good for you? Is it not just the same thing as a movie? And then I realized the reason books, maybe even podcasts, and the other thing you mentioned too, but the reason that it's good for you is because it forces you to create. It forces you to flex that imagination muscle,
Hmm.
and then you have a gauge and a baseline to go off of. If you're never using your it sounds so goofy, but I really think it's
It's
true.
true. It's
If you're
true.
never
You're
using your
100% right.
imagination, you're fucked, basically. If you're never using, I don't know, you, it's just, to me, if somebody had a choice between looking at these things and believing them versus believing the world that you see out there, which one would you pick? The happy one or the fucking shitty chaos one? I'm gonna pick this every time. I'm having a great fucking time. Why would I start listening to anyone else? And
Right.
I think that's what I want to make the overarching message of this show here tonight. Just think for yourself. I did say I was going to show you this. So I'm going to show you this too. Have you ever seen the 9/11 predictive programming from wrestling? I don't know if you can see it on the screen yet. It's Hulk
Yes, I could
Hogan.
see it. I used to have
Have
a
you
Hulk Hogan doll.
have you seen this video before?
Is this the one with Macho Man?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this video, but
Oh man. Okay. So this was fuck, I don't remember when. It's like the 90s, right?
Okay.
It's a long time ago. Now, this is two, I don't know if you're familiar with wrestling you are, but there's
Yes.
two like tag teams. One of them is the New World Order. Do you know predictive programming? Like,
Yes.
do you know of this? Okay. So
Mhm.
it's the New World Order is one team, the New World Order, and the Twin Towers is the name of the other team. So already before anything happens, you've got the New World Order versus the Twin Towers. That alone is enough for me.
That, yeah.
Come on. Let's see. Okay.
Down the Twin Towers. Yeah.
This man, what were your thoughts then?
Oh, yeah, Mean Gene, I can still
Can you hear that okay?
Yeah.
feel the pain when that cold steel bit into Miss Elizabeth's wrist right there. And when her muscles were torn, my muscles were torn. When her bone was bruised right there, I felt the pain. Hulk Hogan felt the pain. And I can still feel the pain right now. And Hulk Hogan, that pain won't stop until the Twin Towers come crumbling down. Oh, yeah, right now tonight on prime time. Yeah.
Wow.
God damn it. I don't know what this stupid ass footage is. This is not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this. So some retard in the middle of this video just put a clip of the Twin Towers.
Like the
Okay,
Twin Towers.
fucking idiots. Okay, here we go.
Some man can explain to you why they're called the Twin Towers, can't you, brother?
Yeah, Twin Towers supposed to be disaster-proof. Yeah, earthquakes, typhoons, yeah, tidal waves. Nothing can bring them down because of their size. Yeah, they've never felt the power of the mega power, and we'll bring them down.
I'm sorry, I was wrong. It wasn't the New World Order. It was Mega Powers.
Oh, mega power.
Brick by brick.
These motherfuckers. God damn it.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help.
I fumbled the whole ball. Fucked it all the way up. Okay, here we go.
The Twin Towers are big, strong, high buildings, yeah, larger than any buildings in New York City. These guys are big and bad. I'm telling you something right now. They may be earthquake-proof. They may be typhoon-proof. They may be tidal wave-proof. But when the mega powers, the strongest force in the universe, goes against the Twin Towers, it's feel like a fault line going right through their foundation. And the Richter
Oh
scale
my God.
is going to spin around 42 times, go into orbit, and you're going to see the Twin Towers come crumbling down. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, that's,
Wow.
to me at least, that's huge. It's not the right clip. There's a better clip of this that I thought I had where they didn't have all the bullshit in the beginning, but at some point in that they're just sitting there spelling it out like the mega powers are going to pull some strings and have the Twin Towers crumbling down. It's like they basically just described 9/11,
Yeah.
and say it's not predictive programming, and what is it then?
It just so happened to be.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't it be that?
Yeah, that's wow. It's I just started watching the Macho Man. Um so they did like so I used to watch wrestling as a kid, and so I loved Hulk Hogan and
Do you
Steve
know
Austin.
Homewrecker podcast?
Yes.
We're me and them in a cup like in 2 Fridays from now. We're gonna watch wrestling matches
Oh, cool.
on the show. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. You liked
Um
wrestling when you were a kid.
yeah, I like wrestling when I was a kid, and they have like these docu-series on Stone Cold Steve Austin. I just started watching the Macho Man one.
Wow, that's wild
So
that you're
that's
watching that show at all. Because since I've met Homewrecker podcast, we've been talking about wrestling, and wrestling like keeps coming up. I think it's something to do with how it's staged.
yeah.
Like the wrestling is an allegory for everything else, perhaps.
Yeah, because with Macho Man, I've saw part of it. It's like he really got into his role and with his wife, and he just got really
like a method actor kind of.
Yeah. It's
Just
interesting. I haven't finished it, so we'll see how it ends. But I like I said, I used to have a Hulk Hogan doll when I was little, and it was like cloth. But when I would watch wrestling, I would like hold it up, and
Oh my god, that's adorable.
yeah, I was like, I love Hulk Hogan. And I watched his movie. Um, he had a
Oh
movie, and I was
yeah.
like, I
What was
love,
that
yeah.
called? I forgot that even existed. Let me look it up. How long ago did you watch it?
I was,
Hogan's Heroes.
yeah.
All I remember is someone coming up from like a sewer. You know, little sewer drains like in Ninja Turtles,
Hmm.
like get into the sewer from that circle thing of metal.
Yeah.
All I remember from Hogan's Heroes is like someone popping out of one of those, like they had an underground fort or something. Oh no, Hogan's Heroes is like a TV show.
It was, I'm trying to look it up.
What am I thinking? Hogan movie? Hogan, Green Street. What the fuck? Oh, Mandela Effect. Hogan.
I know, right?
Hulk Hogan starred in. He did not star. No Holds Bar, Rocky 3, Suburban Commando. Those are all movies of his, apparently.
There, I don't know if it was Ultimate Weapon or
I feel like I know exactly what you're talking about though. Like there's this weird ass movie.
yes, and he was maybe it was No Holds Barred.
Movie. It's like he was hanging out with a bunch of kids, wasn't it? Was it The Ultimate Weapon? I think so. From 1998.
No, it was older. I was 5. Okay, so I'm aging myself. So I was 5 in, yeah, so in 1989. Yeah, so I was like 4 or 5. So I think it's No Holds Barred.
No Holds Barred.
Yeah, Hulk
No
Hogan.
Holds Barred. Let's check this out. We're gonna figure this out. Oh, 1989. Yeah, that does align with when you were doing that. Let's see here.
Because I,
They put an entire movie on
yeah,
YouTube.
that's it.
That's it.
Mhm.
Oh my god. So this movie is apparently so good that somebody in this world is watching this movie on YouTube where the screen must be shrunk down to that size and they had to pitch shift the entire audio.
We are entering a new era in sports television. Nice.
Guys, if you're watching movies this way, you're sick. You need just don't watch the movie. Just pick a movie that you have for God's sake. That is disturbing.
Mhm. That's a little strange.
Yeah, it really is. All right. So, Nicole, before we get out of here, what do you want to talk about? I mean, everyone, at least myself, I always have like something that's going through my mind generally at any given time. What are you thinking here today?
Um, so today I had this interesting experience. So I'm growing my own food while I'm growing my tomatoes and I have
Hey, we are
garlic.
too. We just planted tomatoes like 3 or 4 days ago.
Nice. And I have zucchini and watermelon. And I had this moment today. So I don't take my phone out to the garden. I try to disconnect when I go out there, and I was watering my plants, and I talk to my plants. Like I tell them, oh, you're so great and you're growing and whatever. Um, but this was a really cool moment where I went to have a mandarin tree, and there's a praying mantis egg. I don't know if
Egg?
you've ever seen a praying mantis egg.
No, I didn't even know they laid eggs. I thought they just shit them out like everything else.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It looks like this little like alien vessel thing, and it's small. So I had noticed the praying mantis egg a couple weeks ago, um, and I was watering the mandarin tree, and I was like, "Oh shit! I got the praying mantis egg wet." Not that it matters because they lay the egg in a certain spot, and it's supposed to withstand heat, cold, and rain. But I put the hose down and I started walking over to the egg, and I literally saw the tiniest baby praying mantis that had just come out of the egg. I'll have to send you a picture because the egg has like multiple slits in it. So they like break out of each little slit. Once the egg is empty, it's
What?
just like a hollow hole type thing
Like there's multiple praying mantises in there?
in
Praying
one,
mantis?
in one egg.
That's fucking crazy.
So I'm like, what? And I look and I see this tiny little praying mantis. Only one had come out of the egg. I don't, sometimes they all come out together, sometimes they don't.
Hmm.
But in that moment, I was like, oh, where's my phone? But I didn't have my phone. I was like, this is so cool. Like this life just happened. And I ran in the house to try to get my phone because I wanted to take a picture for the gram. But by the time I got back, the praying mantis was gone. I looked at the egg and then I saw a ladybug. Um, and I was like, oh, wow, I didn't see you there. And then this red dragonfly flew by me. And I'm like sitting there thinking about how there's so many things in life, there's so many things that the matrix, the universe is trying to show us, but we're not all of us aren't really paying attention because we're so caught up in
Everything
the,
else.
the bullshit. Um, but in that moment, it was like I just saw a brand new life come from this egg. I just saw this bug. I just saw a red dragonfly. Um, the squirrel was like eating something in one of my trees. I'm just like, all this life is happening, and we choose to see it and not see it. Um, and sometimes we really got to stop and slow down and smell the roses. But there was just something about being in the garden, and when you grow your own food and you see how, whether it's a seed or a plant, you just see how you don't worry about whether the plant's going to grow. You don't worry about the tomato if it's going to sprout. It just happens. It just surprises you. You know, you give it water, you might talk to your plants, you might not. Um, and I think that you could apply that to your life, that if you take care of yourself, if you are kind to yourself and not worry, things will work out in your favor. I don't know. It was just that was on my mind today. Just like, whoa, I just saw
Yeah,
all this life happen around me and I might have missed it. Um,
I definitely agree. I mean, there are so many theories about what's going on here. I don't fucking know. I don't know anything, like I said
yeah.
earlier. But I do know, God damn it, there are a few things that I do know that I have figured out. And one thing that, God damn it, whatever. And one thing that I'm pretty fucking sure of is that I don't think we are necessarily, whatever this experience is, I don't think that it is necessarily to change the world,
Mhm.
because time is an illusion. Time is all happening at once.
Yeah.
You know, this really is a dream just for you, just for me. And I don't think the point of this is to change everything else, because I don't think that stuff's even real. I think this is like, so I think that I am, we are, you are, I am, whatever, an infinite being who got bored, you know, because when you're infinite forever, you get used to it. You know, you got bored, and then just being really introspective right now. We're looking at ourselves through all these different lenses. I think the point of this, I really do believe this, and this is really good. So take this away, you guys. The point of what we're doing here is to stop and smell the roses. That's all this is. That's all you're supposed
That's
to be
all it
doing.
is.
You're not supposed to be fucking worrying about this. So you grew yourself some beautiful roses. I mean, fucking beautiful roses. And all you have to do is walk up to the roses and smell them. But on the path from wherever you began to the roses, there's like an entire fucking dimension there to distract you.
Mhm.
You know, and you're making it to the roses, but every second, boom, there's another thing here to distract you. There's all these corporations, all these people, this, that, so much shit. There is so much shit in this world. I genuinely think that I just put that stuff there as a distraction to distract me from smelling the roses. I really think that's the point. Um, you know, we're always rushed. Like you got to go to work, and kind of like I said earlier, that I can't get anything done if I'm not freaking out about it and making sure it's getting done. I think that's part of conditioning too. I think we're made to be that
Yes.
way. We're on time. Got to be in a rush. Go 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 go. And you know, those moments when you are late for something because you genuinely got caught up in a really good conversation.
Mhm.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing here. Nothing else, nothing more. And so what you can take away from that, if you want to, is when you know that that is part of the truth. I can't just say that's the truth because there could be more to it. But I know that that's at least part of an aspect of truth. So I know that exists. So what I can really take from that is that anything that directly conflicts with that is untrue. Period. It's just untrue. The fear is wrong. If you're scared, you're wrong. Stop being scared. You know, everyone's, and it's so funny I even say that because we've all figured out that everybody has to figure it out on their own. We've all
Right.
figured that out. You can't save anybody. You can't
Mm-mm.
show anybody the light.
No.
And so it's like, why am I even saying this? Because anybody who would understand it would already see it, type of thing. I'm on repeat. I am Ouroboros, the dragon eating its tail. Just the cyclic nature of reality. You know, that's why I get so upset whenever I see people running around scared. It's just a waste of time. No matter what you're here to do, no matter what the details are, it's objectively a huge waste of time to just run around and fucking be scared.
Yeah.
Why would you even want to do that?
And I think that if anyone listening has never grown their own food, even if it's just a tomato plant, whatever, I think the experience teaches you so much. It's people are like, oh, it's just growing a plant, but there's more to it. There's a lot of learning that comes from that.
It's like we talked about with Alex from Homewrecker podcast. All you have to do is master one thing, and then you know how everything else works.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I get from what you just said about the tomatoes.
Mhm.
You think you're just growing tomatoes, but really you're unlocking all of the keys of the universe.
Yeah, you're putting time, you're putting effort. You're not stressing the tomato plant. You're not putting stress on it. It's this calming experience. And then you notice, oh, there's a butterfly on my tomato plant. Oh, there's a hummingbird that came to the tomato plant blossom. Oh, there's a tomato worm. Then you pick that tomato and you eat it. And it's like, whoa, this came from this plant that I watered and saw it grow. There's some
Yeah,
satisfaction in that.
that's the Ouroboros. You know, you grew it and now you're consuming it to get
Mhm.
the energy to grow it. It's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
That's good, huh? That's really good stuff.
Yeah.
Um, what else you fuck with any other foods? You said you grow your own food. What else you got?
Um, well, growing my own food, let's see. I have grapes, I have tomatoes. I was like battling this squirrel that dug up my squash plant. And also realizing how I've been watching um, animals a lot lately, like in real life, not on TV, but how so I had this interesting interaction with these hummingbirds that come to my house. So there's two females and one male. The male is absolutely beautiful. He's black and purple and green, and he never lets me take a picture. If I have my phone, he doesn't appear. He only appears when I don't have my phone. Really weird.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's beautiful though. He's absolutely beautiful. And there's two females that come, and I'll I have started watching them through the window, and so they'll see me, but I won't get too close to the window. They'll keep feeding and feeding and feeding. And the other day, I was at the window and the hummingbird got really close to the glass, but she was checking me out. And it was this
Mm,
it was this
you saw the reflection.
yeah, there was this curiosity. So then I went to the grocery store the other day and I was bringing in groceries, and the hummingbird just like stops like right in front of me. But she's like just, flying and checking me out, and she's gotten more comfortable. And sometimes I wonder, is there some communication there that we're missing? Is there some kind of message that I'm missing? Are
I think
we,
so.
yeah, even with like, so animals are very attracted to me. If I go somewhere, dogs will just come up to me. Um, there's something that we can learn from animals. I think that they try, and I talked about this on another podcast of how there's all these lines to keep us separated. There's the racial line, there's the vax and unvax line, the men and women line, even like, oh, you
It's
can't be
sad.
friends with a woman or you can't be friends with a man because blah blah blah. But then even with animals too, like what can we learn from them? We can.
You can learn everything from animals, really. I mean,
Yeah.
it's to circle back to something that you said earlier, and I think this is really good stuff too. What we can learn from animals, even with what we can learn from the hummingbirds, as well as what we can learn from the praying mantis, is the instinctual nature of reality.
Hmm.
Just as when you had that experience with Reiki and it felt so natural, you didn't even have to try that hard, it just happened. Just as was that is the hummingbird and the praying mantis. They know their role. I don't know. What is it with humans? We don't know our
We
role.
don't know our role. We're so lost.
Do we even have a role? I mean, what are we?
Why don't we just be? Because they're just being.
Yeah, they're just there, and that extra thing that we have that they don't have is bad. It's bad. It's the bad thing. Animals are beautiful. I mean, even when animals are like these evil terrorists, it's still beautiful to me for some reason. It's still
Mhm.
like, oh, they're just being nature. It's just
Yeah.
doing
Survival.
what they're supposed to do. They don't care. Maybe that's it. We humans care what they look like. We care what others think of us.
Mhm.
Does the wolf in a pack care? Because they have alpha males and stuff. Do they all want to secretly be the alpha male but pretend they don't, like humans?
Mhm.
That's what I wonder. What do you think about? Have you ever read into like archons and stuff like that? Like just the idea that we were a certain type of way, and then aliens or demons or whatever the fuck came and did something to us. I have a friend named David. He says that they came and fucked us, and that fucked up our DNA, and now we're the way we are. Have you ever read into this
I
stuff?
don't know. I've read into some. I don't know why, but what came to mind was I recently saw something about. It was a TikTok video that someone shared about the Anunnakis
Yeah. Same
and
shit.
how that's like they had us mined for gold, and that's why we
Yeah.
love gold and physical items or something
Like
like
we're fucking raccoons.
that.
Like we just love the shiny stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've heard so many different things. I do believe though it's hard for me to put it all in one box and say, "Oh yeah, we're the only life form."
Yeah.
Um, or I mean, I've had people tell me that I'm a star seed. I did a reading with Kara Mosier, and she was like, "You're a Lyran. I see it." I've had a couple people tell me that, and I'm like,
Be
but I
careful.
grew up watching a lot of Star Trek, and I was a total space person, but I just don't. Again, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, what do you think about space?
Well, now there's all this talk that space isn't real, and what is space?
I think space is definitely misdescribed. I mean, I think that whatever the Hermetic principle is, the polarity one, the principle of polarity, like, I don't, you say space is real. Okay. Am I real? Are you? Who knows? You say space is fake. What does it mean?
Yeah,
You know,
what is it?
I that's the place where I always end up too is like, what is this? Is it a dream? Am I just dreaming? Is this a matrix like simulation for some reason? What's going to happen after this? And I think that's a lot of everybody's big question, it would seem, is what's going to happen after this. What do you think?
So, that's
I
funny
know
you
that's
asked
like
that.
I know that's a real lighthearted question to end the show on.
So the other night, I had a dream that I always dream of people that I've never met. I have dreams of
That
people,
sounds
and
pretty fucking cool.
I'm like, who are these people? I don't know who these people are. I don't know them in this current. So I sometimes tell my boyfriend, I'll be like, I had a dream that we were in a stadium and I saw like 20 faces of people that I've never met. Where did I get these faces from?
Yeah.
Is this the dream? And that's the real life?
Yeah, there's been talks of that on the wrong warp, that this could be the dream.
Or is this just me, but I also exist in another timeline because time and space aren't real and I'm just all everywhere. But I can only recollect certain
I
moments.
think the amnesia is. I really do think the amnesia is the secret sauce. Like I said earlier, I think that we're the infinite being that got bored and all this stuff. So our favorite thing to do, and this is just my opinion, what we're doing right now is we got bored. We're God. We got bored. The only thing left that's fun for God to do is sh- to give himself all these different eyes, which is us,
Mhm.
lenses, and then basically point the Men in Black scanner at his own face to forget that he's God. Forget back to a baseline. So my and your most favorite fun thing to do as God is to forget that I'm God, and then get to experience finding out and remembering once again that I am God. What do you think about that?
I think that we are. So a lot of people have trouble with that, but I think we are God. We've lost our sense of self or our sense of power. I think what doesn't end either, when we're done with this meat suit or this physical body. I only say this because I've experienced it multiple times. So when my grandmother passed away, I had talked to a espiritista, or like a medium, and she had told me, your grandmother's here. I feel her here. And I'm like, okay. I've been in like spiritual classes and energy work classes where people feel her presence. But I have,
Like they just tell you that?
yeah, they're like, your grandmother's here. And I'm like, what? It's to the point where now I don't get shocked. It doesn't shock me at
Yeah.
all.
They're like, oh, of course.
Oh yeah, she's here. But there was a dream that I had of her. And in the dream, she's like sitting on the couch watching me. But this dream was like one of the most vivid dreams I ever had, because she was so radiant, and I felt her looking at me. I felt her with me.
Presence.
And sometimes, yeah, and sometimes I go back to that dream and I think about it, and what if it just doesn't end? I don't, it's there's, you can
I mean,
go into so many, how could
how
it
could it
end?
end?
Maybe it's just
Right.
the meat suit that ends. Did she continue into another body, and then she's just kind of the same thing about like the planes and the timelines? Is she already in another meat suit living a whole nother life, but then in this timeline she's still making contact with me?
See, and even right there, I don't think we're supposed to figure that out. I That's where I end up every day. And I don't think we're supposed to figure it out. I think it's just the thing we're supposed to do is just the challenge of being a good person. Just be good. A lot of people I know think that there's some type of matrix, like recycle, where if you're not good, your soul gets recycled and then you have to live again until you're like at least 51% good. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for coming on the show here today, Nicole. You were
Thank you for
awesome.
having me. I had so much fun.
You are a very beautiful soul. I definitely think you're on the right path.
Thank you
So
so much.
rest easy. Rest easy tonight. You're on the right path. Everything's
Thank
good.
you.
Um, Anybody still listening at this point has not only paid for the One Up Club, but they have listened to this entire episode all the way till the end. So they're really deep in it. What would you leave them with tonight?
I would leave them with,
No pressure. What's your best advice?
don't overthink it. Just be in the moment. Be in right now, whatever that is. And if you're like, oh, what is that? I challenge you to go sit, even if you have a yard or a park, somewhere where you can sit and just look at the flowers, or look at the grass, or look at the trees. Just see see what is happening around you that you would normally not pay attention to. Just be in that moment.
Yeah. It's corny. I don't even know why it's corny, but the present, the
Yeah,
present is a gift.
it is. It's such a gift.
That's simple.
Yeah.
So I agree with Nicole. You got to enjoy the right now. Don't be scared and enjoy the right now. It's all going to work out, because even if your gay ass fucking fear is right, then what? We're just going to die. Okay. Then we find out what happens when we die. I mean, there's no matter how you slice it, you shouldn't be scared.
You shouldn't
So
be scared.
I love you guys. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for supporting the show. I love you so much. Go check out Healing with Nicole. I'm sure there's great vibes. Thank you again, Nicole, and I hope you have a really, 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 really good night.
Thank you. You too. Thank you so much.
See ya.